Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of The Duel. It's your host, Dhearn BJJ, and
Vibe, aka Jules.
yes. We hope you guys had a great week and weekend of gaming because, Jules, there's been so many things that have been announced this week, and I couldn't be more excited to talk about with you for it, especially with this podcast going on. It's been so fun working with you on it, and just seeing and hearing all the news that is currently coming out makes it even more exciting for me to want to do this podcast. So I forward to our Sundays to record for these Monday releases just to give all of our viewers and listeners a chance to get a nice little recap of everything that had happened for the past week.
Yeah,
Um,
man, if I chime in here, we got a lot happening this last week. We had State of Play coming out, Summer Games Fest is being announced. As of they were recording, Xbox is having their press right now. So there's a lot of things coming out from hardware, software, new IPs, new games, re-releases, a lot.
yes, I mean, look, I'm hoping some time flies, but then at the same time, I really don't want time to fly because we have so many games to play, and it's just I don't know how much more I could keep up to try to play so many games. It's insane.
Well, I mean, hey, we finally finished Expedition.
Yes, 10, 11 out of 10, 100 out of 10. The numbers are so astronomical
Um,
high. That's my pick for game of the year. I know later on as the show progresses, we're definitely going to have our video game awards previews. But if a little spoiler for that episode, Expedition 33, my vote for game of the year. And once again, if you guys missed out on episode 2 for us talking about it and seeing some of the gameplay, I highly recommend you take a look into the archives and check out episode 2. We were discussing Expedition 33. Phenomenal game, phenomenal story, all around.
definitely my game of the year pick as well.
Yeah. So there
A
goes.
1,000 out of 10. Like top, I'm on the platinum the game. Like I'm very close right now. I think I have like 4 trophies left. But so far, man, even the optional stuff, the hidden quest,
Hmm.
dude,
So
I can't. I'm
spoiler
not
alert,
disappointed
right?
at all.
It's basically a spoiler. We already made our picks for game of the year, right? Spoiler alert.
Somewhat. You never
Okay.
know. There's a
Uh,
bunch of stuff that's got announced, so I still have my eyes on something else. So we'll see.
I mean, me too. But so far, spoiler alert, everyone. Expedition 33, game of the year. Breaking news, and we're still in June, so we're halfway there. So now let's get right into it. Our favorite console ever, our favorite company, PlayStation, Sony PlayStation, had done their state of play on Wednesday, June 4th, announcing the future for what's to come throughout the rest of the year and a little touch into next year. So the big thing that they started, Jules, I don't know if you're aware of this, is that Capcom had released its new IP, which is called Pragmata. All right, we've been
Mhm.
hearing about this game, I believe, since PS5 was announced, and that was an X amount of years ago. I remember the trailer for it was like an astronaut looking at Earth, and everyone's like, "What is this?" Coming from Capcom, is it a survival horror? Is it another fighting game? I mean, those are the two main things that Capcom been kind of diving into. So we finally got the glimpse of it. It's a sci-fi game taking place in outer space where you find a companion whose name is Diana, and you two are just gonna overcome whatever the main goal is. It's not a survival horror; it's more like an action sci-fi game, which looks pretty cool. I mean, Capcom story games have
Now,
always been phenomenal.
is Capcom taking a page out of Sony's book and Naughty Dog to where we finally have like our buddy trope, main character, side character quest, and just going along with it?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely overdue. I mean, for the most part, I don't count when they do Resident Evil games as like a buddy quest because the last one they, if you want to count it, that they did was Resident Evil 4 when you had Ashley, the president's daughter, and Leon, but that wasn't as significant as I believe this game would be, where your companion holds a value. Because if you played Resident Evil 4, President's daughter was not the biggest help in the game. If anything, that was one of the most annoying missions that you had to do, because there was only so much you can do with her.
So
So
I mean, I'm excited for this one. Based off the art style, some of the music, I was like off the trailers. I was ready to go. And sci-fi horror, sci-fi thrillers, like action adventure, I'm with that. So I'm with it.
yeah, and just going back into space. I mean, space is just like an infinite amount of possibilities. I mean, scientifically and I guess gaming wise, because we don't know what direction you can take. Is it going to be a spaceship that's overran by robots, or is there an alien life form, or is it this? Is the plane exploding? So there's like so many things that we just got a little glimpse of it, and for what they had provided to us is already selling enough. And that was the first. That was just the first announcement of it. The next topic that had been into the state of play was Silent Hill F. Okay, so now this is the newest edition when it comes into Silent Hill, and if you haven't played Silent Hill 2, by the way, did you get a chance to play Silent Hill 2 or not?
I played a little bit of Silent Hill too, but I was more excited for F. F when the Silent Hill games got announced early on, when we had it was announcement of two F and I forgot what was the other one. It was a whole other title. F was the one I was very like I wanted to play the most. And stay and
Mm-hmm.
play, what I saw so far, I don't want to be like a fanboy, but like I'm excited. Two, I got like maybe halfway through yet. I didn't finish it because I just a bunch of other games I was playing, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for this one.
Yeah, no, Silent Hill 2, if you haven't got to play that or anybody hasn't played it, it's definitely one of those must plays because it came out last year. I platinumed it, and I remember growing up, everyone was like, that's the scariest game of all time, so I just had to take a dive into it. And it was scary. The story had a bunch of twists on it, and Silent Hill is just such a dark game, and just the whole survival horror element in that genre is hands down my favorite. I think as I gotten older, I've began to appreciate it more. Where this is, it's a big deep story, but it's also kind of like a game you could relax and play, relax, and I'll put that in quotes because you're literally clenching every 2 seconds to not get a jump scare.
So
But
here's the other one for Silent Hill. Did you ever feel the playable trailer PT created by Kojima?
of
Did you feel
course,
the essence in the Silent Hill?
this one, no. What he did, I mean, Kojima is once again just an absolute genius in his craft. He's way ahead of the gaming industry in terms of narrative stories beyond anybody. You play the old Metal Gear Solid games of his, and the stories that are currently going on in those games is like kind of correlate to what's going on now in, like, I guess, politics world and all the whole warfare. So it's like, mind you, this game was made in like 1990 something. We're in 2025, and it's not so far off to what he was predicting. So that's where I was like, this guy is way ahead of his time. But the whole scary aspect and the creepiness when you played PT, if you never had to, if not, watch a YouTube video. Wow, he said he
And
announced he was
that
going to do it.
creation, yeah, that creation of PT was before everything happened. It was supposed to be for Silent Hill, and I was looking for it for like if it was Silent Hill 2, F. I keep getting the name of the third one, but I'll get it to you soon.
It's gonna pop up. If not during the episode, maybe after. It's definitely gonna hit us. But yeah, it's so Silent Hill F. If you look at the trailer, it's not too far off from Silent Hill 2 because when everyone looks at PT was a first person. This one is now the over the shoulder, or the over the
Third
shoulder style,
person
third person style.
horror.
Yes. So classic, just like any Resident Evil game. So it's going to be taking place in 1960s Japan with endless creations of Japanese culture. I mean, look, we could. I wouldn't have wanted a modern Japan for this game. I definitely love the whole going back in time and experiencing that. So, like I said, the creation of Japanese culture is just phenomenal. So I hope that we're gonna get a bunch of jump scares. I hope I'm gonna be squeezing my controller to the point that I'm gonna break it. But we'll be buying
No,
it.
I'm at
You're in for this one too,
100%.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this one. This might be my next platinum.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm 100%. I feel like any survivor horror genre, I'm always gonna platinum. It's a nice sit down, chill based. Um, once you get through the story, you got through all the jump scares, and then to replay it, it doesn't become as scary because you're expecting. But
Hmm.
it's a good game. You get 100%, and hey, if you get it on disc, go to GameStop, get a little bit of your cheddar back, and put it towards your next game. Because the next game that I would want to put it towards would be the MK Classic Collection that had been announced. Now, for the Mortal Kombat series, this is the next edition. I mean, I know we talked about Mortal Kombat 1, we talked about it numerous times in our episodes. So this time they're bringing back all the classic games from the Super Nintendo, and a lot of the 2D style of fighting is going to come back to us, okay? So we're not going to deal with the tag assist anymore. I remember they showed us MK1 through 3 and then Ultimate, but they didn't go anything further than that. Like, we didn't hear about Armageddon, we didn't hear about any ones after that necessarily.
Yeah,
But
when it comes to the collection, I was like, if Armageddon is in there, I'm gonna be super hyped because Armageddon had like this conquest mode where you could fight through like a
mhm.
graveyard. It changed the tower mechanics completely upside down. 2 and 3 was obviously great. I enjoyed 9 a lot. But that like Armageddon, if we see that again, man, I'm gonna be so happy.
Yeah, I mean I definitely would be in the same boat with you in terms of happiness with it because we just want a 2D style of play for our fighting games once again because the trend that we're hearing after everything with the fighting game announcements has been a lot of tag based. If I mean we're
Yeah.
definitely gonna dive into like the topic more as we have more news within.
I don't think MK needs another tag based
No,
game.
we don't.
Sorry.
It kind of flopped. So I mean, let's go back to the 2D. So I guess this is one way to kind of bring it back, and it's gonna have multiplayer play on top of it as well. So this is gonna be very interesting to see how this all plays out, how the multiplayer base plays with it. But once again, it said those original games and many more. What is the many more? I hope we could find out soon. And just as that was being announced, we then got a big announcement on the on hardware for the PlayStation, which was the PlayStation Hit Stick. All right, one of the first wireless hit sticks for the PlayStation. Doesn't look bulky. It actually looks smooth. I mean, I have a hitbox for my gaming, which is pretty thin, and this is what it was
Well, that's
kind of
not so bad.
looking. Yeah, this is what it was kind of looking like when
Who's
on the
who
trailer.
made that one?
Houd pad. I mean, I don't know if anyone can see a Houd pad right over here.
That's
This
pretty
is a
solid though.
Christmas present from my great cousin. But as you see, I kind of added my own was it the post-its on it, the little stickers on it
Yeah, like
because
the
I
little
had to get
notes.
yeah because I couldn't I had no idea what I was doing, so that helped me out greatly. But
I mean, me had to use a fight pass, hitbox or whatever. I'm like a controller player. I
yeah.
think the closest I got to it was the Victress Pro controller. You have swappable modules. So you can have like a hitbox
Hmm.
legit on the controller itself. Pretty good. It's pretty responsive, but I like the classic style, like just controller play.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
PS5. I'll dive into this one.
Yeah, but the thing with the hit stick is man, it's once again it's a whole different style of play. So it's like, for example, a character on Tekken Jin, I can only play him on a controller. I can't do it on a hitbox. Like it's very weird. I feel like the game
Really?
when you get it when you get the hardware, whether it be a hitbox or a hit stick, the game that you play, it's almost like you kind of gotta like do your best to learn with it. Cause
But
when
yeah, I mean, I'm a Yoshi main when it comes to Tekken, so I can only imagine what that's like using the hitbox.
yeah,
Because the inputs on the controller alone is just a lot.
I mean, hey, look, if you're good at typing, that's the best. It's one of the best things to use.
Horrible at typing.
Oh,
Horrible at typing.
yeah. You must be looking down as you type. But yeah, this hit stick. I mean, it looks cool. It has a good design, a cool design with it. And yeah, I'm not like I haven't been such a big fan of the sticks, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I
Now,
gotta try it
is it
first.
wireless only? Is my question because like when something is wireless, I'm always concerned about just response time and latency.
Yeah,
Um, Hopefully we don't get that with like especially using hitbox. Like using hitbox, you want to be very accurate on your inputs.
yeah.
You do not want that with latency at all.
Yeah, no, I believe it's definitely gotta have the wire. I mean, you gotta charge it one day, way or another. So I feel like once you definitely plug it into your PS, it's gotta be able to be hardwired. So it should be good. I wanted to see how the sales are, and just because they released that hit stick is probably gonna like work alongside with one of their projects of their fighting games is gonna come out. So it's gonna be like I said, I can't emphasize the word interesting because this is something that we have not seen from PlayStation. Now,
Are they hinting at PlayStation All Stars?
oof. Rest in peace to that. Rest in peace to that. But I think we could revisit that hit stick talk because as we continue on, the next game that had been talked about, and I believe this is probably the final announcement of it, was Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Eater. So I just got my pre-order on Wednesday. I had a bunch of gift cards from GameStop that I was able to put this towards, and I couldn't have picked a better game. I know the story's going to be great. Everyone says that Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best one of the series, and I've got to play the first two on a Steam Deck at very poor quality, I would say, compared to what this game's graphics are going to be. So this is something that I've been really looking forward to. This is kind of my game that's going to end my summer. That I know, okay, the summer's over. we're gonna run right into Labor Day because of this game. Have you ever got to play any of the Metal Gears at all?
I played Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. I never finished them though, because like Metal Gear Solid was one of those games that it kind of like just threw you into the world, and you just like you have to learn a lot. Um, but is it's when you get into it and you really like learn the fundamentals and like the mechanics of it, like, the game is endless. I think what Phantom, no, it's not called Phantom Menace. It was called Phantom something, Metal Gear Solid. I remember playing that game and like I was kind of lost in like the first few hours, but when I again like learn the mechanics, learn how the game works, and it being like an open world game, I was stuck on that thing for like, oh man,
Was
it was
it
great.
Metal Gear
It's
Solid
great.
5? Was it it was on
Yeah, it was like
PS5 or PS4?
yeah, it was on PS4, PS5.
Oh my god, I know exactly what you're talking about because I know I bought like the most recent ones like for like a $10 bundle. Oh my gosh, I see the cover in my head right now, but I'm definitely gonna want to dive into that because it's supposed to like the whole timeline for the games is just kind of all over the place, and I want to play the latest ones that have been released, but think number three you have to play so that you can understand that story. So the graphics look good. They got Ape Escape mode in there, and we're gonna talk about Ape Escape at a later time. The different things that they have going on, and once again, Metal Gear is a franchise that it will always sell millions of copies. So that whole IP is definitely Konami's biggest moneymaker. So hopefully they have a good future with it, which that's what I'm hoping for. But we're gonna see it as we go along, and to still dive into those '90s style of game IPs that have been started and continue to this day. We have Resident Evil news. Now, before before we dive into it, we're not going to talk about Resident Evil 9 that had just been announced on Summer Game Fest. I want a separate topic for that because I want to hear all the fan theories. I want to watch the trailer a few times. But the big thing from that state of play was not the Resident Evil 9 news. It was that classic Resident Evil 2 and 3 are now available right now as we're speaking on PlayStation Plus. All right.
Wow.
So it's tough to play those two games because the remakes are out. I don't know if they're available on PlayStation Plus, but if you have not played Resident Evil 2, you are completely missing out on the survival horror genre because that game is hands down one of my favorite games of all time with how it was in terms of the story for it, the gameplay, the action, and everything about it just solidified that Resident Evil is a franchise that will always be at the top, no matter how poor of a game it could be, to the top of it. But so far, it's all been going up in an uphill direction for them. I don't see any downfall anytime soon for them. I think they've learned from their mistakes from Resident Evil 6 and some other games that they had, but this time it's. Listen, Resident Evil 9, if you haven't seen the trailer, pause this video right now, go watch the trailer, come back to it, because we'll definitely talk about it on the next episode. I'm ready for
Yeah,
that.
six was a tough play. RE4 was great for me because I love the co-op aspect of RE4. That was probably one of my favorite things. What was it Resident? Or was it five? Which
Five,
one there was
five.
in like that was like they were in like Africa or something like that.
Yeah, with Chris
Dude,
Redfield. Yeah.
that co-op play was so fun. Like
Hmm.
that was hands down one of the best ones. And then seven taking the first person approach. I think seven I replayed like maybe 5 times.
Yeah, no, seven definitely had it brought the whole revival of the survivor horror genre because when he went to six and even five a little bit, it was way too action based. It wasn't too many jump scares. But when you play seven and Village, those two were just absolutely the it brought us back to that. It wasn't crazy. The story was crazy, but it wasn't too crazy action wise. Like, hey, conserve your ammo. Pick your battles if you're able to get around them. Work it. So we haven't seen any gameplay for 9, but we just got the glimpse of it. And once again, I don't want to dive too much into it because I could do a whole episode for just Resident Evil talk. So as we continue into the state of play, another game that had just been announced is the new 007 game for IOI or I0I.
IOI
I
Interactive.
know if you look at it, it's literally like your head is in the middle. It literally looks like this. So 007 is one of the most beloved franchises. I remember there's some games that I played as a kid, which was a 007. It wasn't Die Another. Was it Die Another Day? It was one of those games. I forget exactly what it was, but they haven't made a 007 game since 2012, and now they're taking it over. IOI. The trailer looks great, looks very interactive. I mean, I hope the story is going to be good. And 007 right now is at a point that they're trying to figure out what's the next step for the franchise, because the last movie that they had ended on kind of like a great conclusion. So they haven't figured out what they want to do next, if they want to bring in a new character. We knew that was Daniel Craig's last 007 movie, but they don't know what's the next step for it, because anything happens in media when it comes to TV shows or movies, now games. Now
I
we have a
mean,
new 007 that
coming off
doesn't look.
007, like GoldenEye was top tier. Like nobody you can't forget about GoldenEye. That's like one of the classics, right?
Mm,
And just a game coming out of IOI Interactive, like I love them a lot because they kind of rebirthed the Hitman franchise for me. Like I
interesting.
loved Hitman. Hitman 1, 2, Blood Money, like Absolution, everything. And when IOI, remade Hitman, I'm like, oh dude, this is great. I want to see if they take those mechanics and like build on it way better, way more, and implement that in 007. Because I probably won't put that game down.
Interesting, because so I have a hot take with IOI, because on June 10th they're coming out with this game Mind's Eye, and
Hmm.
it's had some type of controversy in terms that they believe that some people had just left a week before the game comes out. I mean, it's coming out on the 10th, which would be Tuesday, and the game director for it was somebody who was on from Rockstar, had been on Rockstar all the way till GTA 5. So he's been with, Max Payne 3, Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 3, you name it, he was there. But this game, it just does not look good. It doesn't look fully developed. The concept of it could have been cool, but I just, I'm very like skeptical like of how this game's going to be, because mind you, this is the game that's supposed to be produced in the next 007. Hitman they have, and now they have this game, and it, like I said, my prediction is gonna flop. If it, I hope they
Oh,
do good, but I think it's gonna flop, and
They
this is gonna
also
be me
had
questioning things.
they also had one of our old games I also like kind of enjoyed a lot, which was Kane and Lynch. And Kane and Lynch was
Ooh,
very um controversial when it came out. So you're kind of all over the place with IOI. Like you'll get hits and you'll get misses, so you never know.
yeah, I just hope that it doesn't take that big of a hit. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but I looked at the trailers. I've seen some reaction from Mind's Eye, and I'm like, this might hurt them, but they have 007, so everyone's gonna be like definitely saying like, I hope 007's great, because if not, we're in a lot of trouble. So as we move forward, now we got 007, and the next big topic that PlayStation had to discuss briefly. It was like a little touch to it. Was Ghost of Yotai, which we're definitely going to talk about another time. I want to say we're just going to say that that's what they talked about, because they're going to get their own state of play, and coming off of Ghost of Tsushima, Tsushima, I forget the proper,
Tsushima, yeah.
yeah, that game, one of the best PS5 games I could ever play, because it was so interactive with the dual sense controller. Like, meaning this whole thing was just like you felt the vibrations. You had to use the mouse pad. The triggers were heavy at
It
times.
was also just such a beautiful game, like from start to finish. Like when you get dropped into the game, not only the story alone, and like if you're playing cinematic, you're playing normal performance graphics, the game looked amazing regardless. How seamless the interaction was, the
Mhm.
combat was, just everything. Like did that win game of the year? I don't remember if that won
It
game of the
probably
year or
won
not.
like a game of the year in like a different, because you know that there's so many award places that do game of the year, and you see these game
Just
of the year editions. So it's like maybe some third
that game
party.
was massive. It was just such a massive, beautiful game.
Yeah, I mean the whole, also Sucker Punch did a great job. They also were like pretty interactive with the other PlayStation IPs. Like you played the DLC, you got the God of War armor, like really
Hmm.
cool Easter eggs the whole
Yeah.
way. So I'm really interested to see how this is gonna play out. I'm definitely gonna be watching that state of play, because I believe it's gonna come out in the fall time. So that's gonna be our fall game to play. And to move on and going back to our topic within this slide is the hit stick, because I mean, PlayStation dropped a big a big bomb, which was that we're getting a Marvel 4v4 tag fighter game called Marvel Tokon
Hmm.
Fighting Souls. Okay, once again, as I said, it's a 4v4 2D fighter coming out next year. Tag base, okay? Everyone thought we were gonna see Marvel versus Capcom 4. Psych, nope, they lied. Marvel Games is releasing their own things, and these are the same creators from Dragon Ball Fighters and Guilty Gear Strive. They are now taking over the Marvel Games IP, and
Now this is Marvel without Capcom.
Marvel without Capcom, and it's a
Ooh,
new day and a new age in Marvel. And once again, as I
yeah.
said earlier, is that everything now is going to this tag based fighting. You got 2XKO that's supposed to be coming out, and now this game that's coming out that who doesn't want to play a Marvel game? I mean, we talked about Rivals. Everyone's playing Rivals. We all love Marvel movies. We love the whole interaction of it. It's definitely going to do great. Is this something that's on my palette? I don't know because I'm not that good with tag assist as I wish I was, I would say.
I'm not afraid to try it out. I'll definitely check it out and see what's up. I'm always open to like playing new games. Do I want to play a new tag fighting game? No. Is it Marvel and it's cool to play? Yeah. So like I'll dive into it. And the cosmetics can be great. Um Hopefully they don't implement like a battle pass reward system like every game has now, but we will see.
I mean, it depends. I feel like the battle pass does help out some games at a time, depending what it is. I was trying to think. I mean, as we go into like towards our final slides, we definitely have something to talk about when it comes to that game X Defiant, where I believe the battle pass definitely could have helped out in a certain way if they targeted. But once again, let's save that topic for later on in the show. But I could see this game be good. A lot of fighting game streamers and content creators were really excited to see this come out. So, and I could try to relate to their excitement. So let's see how this goes. I mean, we definitely got to see the beta, the alpha, and we'll get that over time. So, PlayStation, in conclusion on that state of play, I thought it was great. It didn't feel bland. It didn't feel like it was like the same thing we hear over and over. We got a little bit of a look down the line with these games that we've been waiting on. So all we got to say is definitely patience is the key to all of this. You're gonna expect delays, expect maybe cancellations or rework directions, but these state of plays gives us an excitement, and we just have to be patient as we go along.
I mean, overall, I feel like it was a good day to play. Like out of the ones that we gotten previously, I feel like this one was actually a good one in a very long time.
Yeah, and once again, we're gonna dive into Summer Game Fest next next week, just so that after everything that had been concluded today with the game announcements, we are going to find out. We're gonna have our own take for it. Now, we're in the summer aspect of gaming. We do have our summer releases. I mean, the Switch 2 had just come out. We still have games that are coming out in June. We are in June is currently we're Sunday recording this on June 8th, and we have so many games that are still going to come out and much more final announcements for these games.
But now, before we dive into this, we spoke about the Switch 2 last week.
Yes.
Um, did you hear about any of the stuff that came out since the Switch 2 has been out?
I've heard that people were got their Switch 2 stapled. Like if you were out on Staten Island, like caught stapled right to it. Do
That was
you
a big one.
that was the big one,
Yeah.
but what did you hear?
Well, not only that, people were getting their Switch 2 stapled with receipts, um, hardware bans because people are already trying to hack it. People are doing firmware updates, putting it away. Like the Switch is very controversial right now as it came out, and like the game, was it the Mario World? The Mario
Yeah.
Kart World came out, and right now the only feedback that I'm hearing is like, hey, we only have one game. They're like all these other games that you guys released for is like games that we played already on other platforms, so it's not really like it doesn't feel exclusive. But they're like, hey, we only have Mario World, and that's about it.
Yeah, because they're like saying the GameCube online, and then I see people putting videos because the Steam Deck is around, and that they're playing Wind Waker on the Steam Deck or this game on the Steam Deck, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay. And I knew that this
So
was gonna happen. I knew it. I mean, we had a comment on one of our TikToks actually that said, "Is it worth buying?" And I said, personally, I would buy this in August after Donkey Kong comes out,
yeah.
and
So the first 2 weeks it's been interesting. First, I guess week and a half, but the first interesting
mhm.
week and a half. Of course, Scalper is trying to buy the consoles, resell them, all that stuff. But we'll see how it plays out. Let's see what happens next few months. Hopefully it becomes like the next best thing. I see memes that people are like, "Hey, I'm gonna drop the Switch 2 and pick up a Wii U." I'm like, that's crazy that people are still doing that.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Switch 2 is definitely something that if you're playing with friends or family or you're just a Nintendo fan, that's something you definitely just have to have in your palette. But I only have one friend that I just found out yesterday that he bought the Switch 2, and I was like, really? I was like, that's interesting. I couldn't. He just hasn't touched it yet, but I'm very interested to see. I'm waiting for him to invite me to play some Mario Kart so I can show him what's up. But yeah, I mean the Mario Kart open world aspect does look cool. Like it feels like a Need for Speed, if anything. You know, Need for Speed is definitely an open world game to its limits, but once again, we'll see as it goes. You're just playing a lot of old Switch One games and maybe some new games added on like Cyberpunk, but something that hasn't grabbed my attention yet. I mean, it's not a my
Well,
thing.
I know something that did grab your attention.
What?
Some of these new releases that came out this summer.
Oh yes, 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 it definitely did. All right, and to start it all off, we have we gotta talk quickly about Elden Ring, Night Rain. That was definitely one of the something that released before June, and definitely question my friendship with you because, and Sway, I gotta say because I feel like I am fighting more with you two than I am with the NPCs on the map or the bosses. I did not expect that, but
With me and Sway. All right, so for context, me, Sway, and Danny, we downloaded Night Rain and we've been playing together. We got to like night three the first time or night two the
yeah,
first
yeah,
time.
no, I thought we were
Like like
moving.
like just the first time we played straight at the box, like we're moving and grooving. Still a lot of mechanics like I kind of had to learn, but I mean to me it wasn't that bad. Like I didn't have issue with it. However, we were trolling you, man. We had to troll you.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
no, I felt it. I was just getting upset. At one point, it was like almost 10 o'clock at night. Like I gotta go to work. Like we gotta get this going, but we definitely gotta look to beat our night three. Definitely a lot to learn in that game, but what a
I
good
can say
start.
it's very fun. It's it being a very fast paced like version of Elden Ring, like movement, running from fight to fight to fight to fight. You don't have a lot of time because of like the maps. Like when I played as the dude with the arrow, I'm forgetting his name, but I played with him first. It was pretty cool, but then like played a more like combat, like heavy executioner. I played him afterwards.
Hmm.
Just being like in the fight, face to face with enemies, running around, jumping from like person to person to person. It feels like Elden Ring. It's like Elden Ring was sped up, and you can actually boss run with your friends. Like it felt very fun. Um, the fact that there's no duo mechanic kind of bothers me. So you play solo, you play with trios. If you play solo, you play complete by yourself, or you match make with other people online. Kind of don't like that. Like I would like options where I could just play like a duo and then run that as well. But apparently there's talks and updates that we're gonna get that soon, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, we definitely gotta wait and see for it because once again, my prediction was is that they dropped this multiplayer thing because the new IP Dusk Bloods that it's gonna be Switch exclusive. Um, that it's supposed to be multiplayer based. So I guess, like I said, this is definitely a test run for it. And if it's not so successful as they predicted, then we're probably gonna. I feel like they're gonna definitely switch it up and be like, no, no, it's solo and you could do multiplayer.
No,
Um,
but playing this game definitely it doesn't feel like it's like its own full AAA game, especially
mm,
coming from the studio. It definitely feels like a test. It feels like a test, like a beta test for something bigger.
yeah, 100%. But I like I said, we definitely got. I feel like we were gonna try our platinum run with each other, so we're definitely gonna help each other out, and we'll definitely be giving this game back to GameStop so I could put it towards the next game. But platinum,
We are gonna troll you even more. Just
yeah,
be ready for that
I
one.
hope so. I hope so. Just so if it means I get the platinum, that's it. I will immediately delete the game, no questions asked. And to continue onto this ticker, as we see on the bottom, I see DS2 there now. Just a heads up, the game comes out on June 26th, but if you pre-order the deluxe edition, you get 2 days early access. So on June 24th, my girlfriend knows not to disturb me, as I've been waiting for Death Stranding for 6 years, and I'm excited, beyond excited for it. I mean, I know she told me she was gonna have a girls' weekend. I was gonna send her and all her girlfriends money. You know, hey, take an extra night on me, type of thing. Like, let me play. I've been waiting for this
Just so
game.
you could play Death Stranding.
Literally just so I could play Kojima's Death Stranding 2. Okay, you have no idea if you have not played it. I get it. Number one was not the best play style. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're a delivery man," but no, this one looks like they've heard the comments and they kind of hated that slander. Now we're gonna step it up. We're gonna throw the story and a little bit more action to it. So trust me, I am hundred
Well, I
percent
mean,
in the
I
game.
watched you play the first one, and like gameplay wise, I was like, yeah, it is what it is, right? The UPS simulator, whatever. But story wise, like watching you play, getting the story, then like going back on YouTube and like following up on stuff that like I miss from not watching you play.
Hmm.
Story is amazing in that game. Like the whole premise of everything.
That's what I
So
tell
I'm
everybody.
excited for how they follow up.
Yeah, I tell everyone. I'm like, this is like, it was like, I want to say like three different stories like within the same game that just
Yeah,
all come together as one. So it's
and
like you get
then
a little glimpse of here and there, but it all makes sense in the end. It's just gonna take time, but the gameplay of you delivering stuff, which is
So
not the most
I
appealing.
started playing late. I started playing very late.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just the whole opening sequence, like the whole first opening sequence before you start connecting stuff, I was locked in. I was like, dude, this is not this. This feels more of a movie than it's a game. Like
Mm-hmm.
from the music, the art direction, art style, like all that stuff. Like I enjoyed that a lot. So I was very excited. Then I got into like mid game, um, and like the game elements of going to place to reconnect everything. Early game, it's tough. You kind of have to drag through it. But when you open up the world and the world opens up more to you, and how you connect with like other people online, like leaving ladders down and ropes and stuff like that. I was like, wait, hold on. Like you can leave resource people, people do the same thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see how the story builds up.
So that's where I'm afraid. Like I want to say like I'm a little cheat with it. Is that because the online guys will definitely like leave you the ladder. I'm like I don't want to take the long route. Oh, there's a ladder right there. All right, let me take this then. So it's like he really did make it like really online creativity and like compatibility to help out others. Even though it's a single player only story, you still get that connection with other players as they journey alongside with you. And yeah, like I said, I think this is something that could be the candidate for Game of the Year. Even though we said earlier Expedition 33 might win it, but let's see. I mean, it was right there. It's Kojima. Kojima has his work ready for him. He knows what he's bringing to us. So we'll see how this all goes. It's gonna be quite interesting. And to continue on for our summer games, we can't continue the summer without announcing the one of the most popular beloved franchise for sports, which is Madden and college football. Now, I don't know if you know about the things for college football, Julian. So it had a big career revival for it was gone for about 11 years, and the big thing, I know we're not a sports podcast, but I love sports so much, so I know what's going on is that there was a whole big thing where it's called the NIL, which is name, image, and likeness, that players were not getting compensated for their lookalikes and so their likeness on the game and so forth. So there's a bunch of people suing EA that they wanted their money. They demanded their money because EA made millions of dollars off of this game. So EA just put a hiatus on it. They were like, nope, we're not making it. And it was 11 years, and people love to work alongside their school, rebuild the dynasty because there was like over 150 teams in that game. It's crazy immersive. Like I put 200 hours into this game. I platinumed the game. I'm the most delusional person when it plays this game because I just play offline franchise and just build like I'm already in year 20 rebuilding one of the worst programs ever. But that was the main premise of it, of this hiatus, and now that they're coming back, they made a new announcement into the edition, and it looks way more immersive in a sense where there's more coaches are now going to be a part of the game as like a playable thing, but not too many crazy additions because once again sports games it's like it's always a new one every year. It's like it's really tough to make a game breaking or a new redesign to something, because there's only so much you could do to a sports game. At the end of the day, it's whoever wins the game, um, within the score. That's all that matters. It's not like they have a whole story mode ready for you, or you're gonna be fighting some entity.
But yeah, I
You know,
mean, the majority of updates you could possibly do is just character updates by the way they look, stat lines, and who's on what team.
roster exactly. Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
it. But I'm the type of person like I'll keep one sports game and then I won't buy one for like X amount of years unless like there's something really changing. But I don't see myself buying it. But if you guys are into it, like, hey, by all the power to you. But Madden, once again, they made their announcement. Saquon Barkley is going to be the cover of it. That's a pain to my heart as a Giants fan. But hey, shout out to him. And as we keep on going towards it, another summer game that I forgot, not a summer game that I'm gonna predict this one. Okay, even though it's not here, I'm gonna predict that The Witcher 4 will be coming out in the summertime of next year. Is that a bold prediction?
That's a that's a bold prediction.
I mean, look, they got to drop a glimpse of it of the demo for Unreal Engine, so it looked cool. I haven't got to beat The Witcher 3. I could definitely beat The Witcher 3 by the time Witcher 4 comes out, so pretty excited to see how that's going to go. And now, our next topic that we definitely love, we definitely had a little glimpse of it from last episode, our top 10 for remakes we want. I forgot exactly what you said. I think you said Army of Two.
Oh, like remakes and of games that we love or
Yeah,
that we liked and we would love to, because like remakes are trending right now. That you see that we have a lot of remakes, remasters, like a huge game that's doing that a million times. The Last of Us. They started in
oh
2013 and
no,
now we're 2025. And they remade the game like 20 times, right?
there's the
Most
remake
recently,
of the
hey,
remake.
it's a remake of remaster, you know. But even today, like I turned on my PS5 and a new game popped up into my library, and it's the remake of Tony Hawk's 3+4, and I was
Ooh,
happy about that. So I pre-ordered it, so I got the demo early. Um, but these are like games that I loved way back when, and I'm seeing remakes and stuff happening now. So here's my question to you: Top 10, no particular order. What are the remakes or remasters that you want to see?
I'm gonna start off with the big bomb on this one, and I feel like people don't know about it or they haven't talked about it. And once again, my survival horror genre is something that if you remake these games, it will definitely give yourself some good sales, especially with how the graphics have been. And it's gonna be Dino. I'm starting off the list with Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis was one of the scariest games growing up, especially with the dinosaurs. It was so cool. I mean, I loved Jurassic Park growing up, and I love the whole dinosaur aspect of it. You can still play it on PS Plus, but it's not. I would want this to be like an Unreal Engine 5. I want to feel this,
Yes.
or whatever RE engine, because it's Capcom. Excuse me, RE engine. They have the proper tools for this. I don't know why it hasn't even been talked into a remake, but they are slacking on this potential banger. And now to lead roll to you, what's next on your list?
My list. So I mean, and just go back to what you said. Like a lot of these games that I'm thinking about, I don't want to play the classic that's like that they added on PS, like the update version. Like I want like a true remaster of it. But mine is Army of Two. I gotta start off there. Army of Two, the classic, the 40th day. Even the third one. Like that's one game that I've put in hours in when it came out. Couch co-op was a thing. Me and my cousin we were playing nonstop. Like that's one game I need back.
Yeah, no, I remember playing Army 2 1 with my cousin on his 360. I remember I bought the 40th day on PS3, and man, it wasn't that much long of it wasn't a long game. It was something that you
No,
could
not at
have
all.
it was something fun. The whole premise of it was to have somebody to play alongside with you. So it's like, hey, your boy can only stay, or a girl can only stay with you for a certain amount of time back in that day. So it was just super important um, to be next to each other and play drive that game.
What's in your second slot?
I gotta say Siphon Filter. That's a game that
Ooh,
we
that's a
haven't
good one.
heard. I remember playing that game on PS1. I remember putting the taser and electrocuting people till they lit up on fire. Like it was just such a cool concept of it. I'm surprised that they haven't dove into this. But once again, that was something that back in the day it was absolutely incredible to play. And what I gotta say, what's next for you?
I mean, I kind of have a trend here, but Jack and Daxter. I mean, being a PlayStation kid from jump, like that's one game that I've enjoyed. Jack 1 was great, the precursor. Jack 2 was probably my all-time favorite, and then Jack 3 just couldn't stop. And then you had Jack X, like the racing one. But I would say Jack 2 and Jack 3 are probably my favorites. A true remaster of it. We don't see a lot of platformers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like Astrobot was like the last platformer PlayStation made that I kind of enjoyed. So I love to see like a Jack story again.
Yeah, I remember playing that Jack and Daxter, and it was absolutely like there's no loading. The whole screen for everything. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And to dive next into my list, I'm gonna say for my third one out of the 10 is Resident Evil Code Veronica X. That's one of the next
Mm.
ones that needs to get remastered. You had RE2, RE3 remaster, and if you RE1 RE1 did not get a remaster. Just it kind of got remastered, but not to like this extent detail. But Code Veronica is one of the most pivotal parts in the story to like a bridge between three and four. I forget which one exactly. Two and four. It's a big gapper that it fills you in. So it has to get a remake sooner than later. Even though RE9 is out there, but next
I
on
mean,
me.
speaking about earlier,
Mhm.
yeah, I was like speaking about earlier, how we mentioned IOI Interactive. Kane Lynch is a game that I do want to see get remade. It was a
Mhm.
very controversial game, but it was a very gritty game, and that was one that like Kane Lynch, I believe it was the second one that came out that I played that one first before I played the first one, and both those games I enjoyed a lot. But I was also very like young and should have been playing M-rated games, but I was like, nah, this one I'm
Yeah,
locked
I
in.
think
It was gritty. It was a gritty game.
you had to lie to your parents like, oh no no, it's fine,
Oh
it's
yeah, hundred
fine.
percent.
Yeah yeah, oh no, it's fine. M means more. That's it. You know, rated M means for me. So the next one, the next one I think we talked about, we're gonna see a little bit of this in Metal Gear Solid Delta, either or three, if you want to call it, is Ape Escape. We have not seen an Ape Escape game in
Mm,
so long, but now we just got a little glimpse of it in the new Metal Gear. If you haven't seen the trailer for it, so I'm really gonna see excited to see how that's gonna go. Maybe it's an announcer to a future game. Who knows, man?
which Ape Skip was your favorite? The first one, second,
First
third?
one, easy first
Oh
one. I
yeah,
mean, the classic
classic.
first one. It can't go wrong with that. Um, yeah. Then next for you, what you got?
I would say now this is a sleeper. A lot of people know about this one. Genji, Dawn of the Samurai. This was an old like adventure samurai game that I remember being hooked on. Like so hooked on that I think I did like a paper on it in like middle school. Like I was addicted to this game.
Dang.
Everything from the combat, the switching between your two main characters. One was like a heavy dude, the other one was like a light fire attack kid. It was great. Art style, music, everything, like the story itself, like that was one game I was hooked on, and then kind of like disappeared. So I'm like very excited for like a remake or remaster if it was to ever come.
Yes. And I definitely gotta look into that. But my next one that I gotta say is the SOCOM franchise. SOCOM,
That's a good one.
I've not heard of a SOCOM game in Lord knows
That's a
how
good one.
long. I mean, come on, what are we waiting for? We all want that team base. This is the perfect time. Everything's all about multiplayer, with their combat. It's like let's get this
Dude,
going.
SOCOM was one of the first games I think implemented every single button of the PS2 controller. Like you had to use every single button to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would that like that game was so advanced for its time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember even just playing like the multiplayer of it. It was like S&D style, one life type of thing, and you had to look for your kills. I forgot exactly what SOCON game it was, but man, come on, man, like what are we waiting on?
So
um,
now I have a sleeper for you.
yeah,
One is very big. One is people don't really know, and I wouldn't be mad at any of them. They're kind of one and the same.
yeah,
Um, for a remaster, I think should come out is SSX Tricky. I
mm-hmm,
mean, that's a classic. You can't go wrong with SSX Tricky, right?
yeah,
But then my counter to that is there was this game called Freakstyle. Have you ever heard of this game?
no,
So take XSS Tricky
yeah,
and put ATV Motocross
ooh,
and put them together, and you have freak style. It was this dirt bike game with all the tricks, SSX tricky time trial, map point style, like all one and the same. That game I think I played nonstop. This was I think it was around like the EA Big era. I would love to see a remake or remaster of that one, but that one's very slept on. SSX is like the top tier. Freak style is very low key. If you know, you know.
I like that. You know. Now, if you know this, I mean, everyone should know this. We all know the most beloved Marvel characters, the most beloved Marvel movies, the most beloved Marvel team is X Men. X Men Legends. That was one of those couch co-op games where it was so fun. You had your cousins over, brother, sister, you name it, over just trying to gather up team, be not a platformer, but just able to venture around and try to fight as much enemies as possible. It was so fun. I'll never forget it, especially the second one, which was Apocalypse. That was the one that I remember rented
Yeah,
from Blockbuster back in the day to play that. It was so fun, man. I hope that we one day go back to it. I mean, hey, look, Marvel's making all these
I
games.
think
Hey, make a
I
new style.
clocked in a lot of hours of X Men Legends as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I know it. Like I said, we have big families, me and you, so we definitely had our fun times to play alongside that.
Well,
And
All right,
What
so
you
I got
got
another
next?
sleeper for you.
Yeah.
Um, aggressive inline. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, no, I remember I got it on GameCube, man. I never forget
Oh,
it. I got
okay.
that game. I got that game. It was a flea market in the Poconos, and I was just like, my dad was like, pick any game, and I was like, that looked cool. The dude like shredding with his skates
Yeah.
on the rail, and I was like,
So
I
that
never
was
forget that game.
like there's the Tony Hawk era, right? The Extreme Sports era. So you had like the Dave Mirra games, you had the Shaun White games, SX Tricky, Tony Hawk, all that stuff. I remember just being in GameStop and seeing aggressive inline. I was like, what is this? Got it. Was playing and hooked on it completely. Soundtrack, everything. I was like, oh, this is something that I didn't know I would enjoy, and I enjoyed it a lot. Like I was stuck on it 24/7.
Yeah, no, that I remember having some fun with that. I mean, hey, I miss my GameCube. If I'm pretty sure if I go through my mom's garage, I could find that game somewhere. And
What about for you? Yeah.
my next one has got to be the Getaway. The Getaway was like something that I haven't heard anybody talk about. I don't know if the studio went down or whatever the case may be, but I'll never forget that first mission where it was like I think like your wife or somebody got kidnapped, and then you had to go
Mm-hmm.
follow it. And if you didn't pay attention to the blinkers, you wouldn't know where you're going, and
Done.
it was you were just done. And I remember like for years, I mean. Years ago, I was like so young. I was not definitely not allowed to play that. I remember my dad would just get any game that looked cool for me, and I was definitely not age appropriate. But I would love to see that game remade or played some way somehow. It was such a cool concept. It was absolutely awesome. And yeah, one of those shooters. And do you have any shooters on your list?
Surprisingly, yes. I mean, it's not your average, top tier shooter. Like I was gonna put like Medal of Honor because I love Medal of Honor. I was gonna put SOCOM,
Yeah.
um, but I have a sleeper, another sleeper, which is Mercenaries. Mercenaries 2 to be exact. That was one game that again rated M. I should have been playing it, but that was one game that I did not put down. Like Mercenaries 2, the whole open world had you had all these alliances or enemies depending how you chose and your reactions and like having like these nations fighting against each other. Like it was great. It took a lot of real world conflict at the time, and just exaggerated, of course. And you were a mercenary. You made friends or you made enemies. Um, it was fun. It was very fun. It was a lot. It was very reckless. You can just destroy the whole world at your will or not. Depends on what you want to do. But it was a very fun game.
No, yeah, I remember those mercenary games. I mean, it was always so loved. I mean, the combat was crazy, the explosions were crazy, so you had a deep dive and deep fun with this.
Oh
And to
yeah.
continue next, this one I'm going to take a little bit of calmer side of things. I'm going to say Need for Speed Carbon. I mean, we had a bunch of
Ooh.
Need for Speed remake. I know there's Most Wanted and all these other great Need for Speed games that they had,
Yeah.
but
Hopper Suit got
Carbon.
remade.
Mm-hmm. But Carbon, dude, it was one of those. I'll never forget. I got it when I had the Wii. That was one of my day one games that I had. It was so cool. Was steering with the Wii remote,
Hmm.
and having that whole like racing crew, like territories and so forth. That was
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
awesome to see. So I hope that one day I could get it. It wasn't that long of a play too. It was pretty short play, but it was so fun racing. I love the Need for Speed franchise as well. They always do a great job.
I mean, so now earlier you mentioned like EA Sports, right?
Yeah.
And college football. Like I don't play a lot of sports games. When I did, it was always like the one-offs, like Mario Strikers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was it? NBA Street, NFL Street, like those games. But my top one needs to be remade was FIFA Street. I don't play
100%.
a lot of FIFA games, but FIFA Street, especially FIFA Street 2, that was like one of those top tier games for me. Like
I don't know why
I,
they don't
I
get
think that
talked
was the
about.
only sports game.
Yeah, I don't know
Nah, it
why.
doesn't get talked about at all. But that was the EA big era where we had a bunch of games that like sports games that were just like, they had their own style to them. It
Yeah,
doesn't exist anymore.
yeah. I mean, we can't. I'll never understand it. Like when it comes, I mean, the street play genre when that came out. I mean, NFL Streets NBA, like it was just so cool. And then I don't know what happened. I guess because you know what, not too many kids you see nowadays are playing outside on the streets. You don't see
Oh
that
yeah.
anymore. So maybe, I mean, everyone's gaming now, which is not bad. But hey, if you know, you know that was the era of things. And next one up, I mean, I remember they even made a movie about it, and it was pretty horrible. But the game for it was amazing in my eyes. Was Blood Rain. Blood Rain had
Mm,
to be one of the coolest, like Blade style, like Marvel Blade with Wesley
yeah.
Snipes and all that. like I said, it was a female protagonist, and it was just so cool. If you lost blood, you just go, eat somebody, and you get your health back, and you had your shooting, and she was doing flips. It was so cool to play, so cool. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, once again, these are all a bunch of wishes. I feel like we're talking about it, and we're like, oh yeah, this is gonna come out soon, and it's like, nah.
I
Let's hope
mean,
someone let's hope one of these developers listens to us and it's like, hey, let me make this money again.
well, if they're gonna listen to us, there's one that I hope out of all of these, I really hope they listen to. Um, that's Bully. If I
Yeah,
can, if I can,
good
I
luck.
will. And I had all the thing in the
Mm-hmm.
Bully. Let's remaster, remake Bully next gen for PS5, PS6, anything that's kind of. Let's do a Bully.
First off, let them
Like,
finish GTA 6 first because if you
oh
give them
yeah, we
another
know
if
about
you give them
that.
another project right now, then GTA 6 comes out when me and you have like 5 kids
I definitely
apiece.
know about that one.
Yeah, I mean,
But that was one game that like, dude, that was your GTA 6, but like for kids basically. Like you go to class, you pass, you fail, you have the whole thing with the jocks and nerds, the geeks and everybody. It was amazing.
what a great game. I remember the
And
lawnmower.
then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you go to detention, you got the lawnmower
Right.
stuff like
Take the lawnmower out of the place. It was awesome. Next one up on my list to conclude this top 10 for me is Red Steel. I remember playing Red Steel on the Wii. It was a big, you had your gun, you had your sword, you had different styles of fighting. And I'll never forget that for my Wii. That was awesome game. It was really immersive with the Wii at the time because you had to use the nunchuck and the stick. And so you really had to work hand in hand with it. That was it was something that it could only be done on Nintendo side. They could try to do it with the Switch, but it's just not the same. When the Wii came out, man, that was absolutely amazing. And what is yours to conclude the top 10 remakes that we want?
well, I mean, going back for like my love of like Japanese style games and like samurai games, because that was one craft I loved. Onimusha. Onimusha is one game that for the longest I've been telling myself, I need a remake, I need a remaster, I need a remake, I need a remaster. Onimusha was a very beloved game. It wasn't huge, but it was a great game. And not too long ago, Capcom announced Onimusha's getting remastered or remade. So I'm good. I'm like my inner child is like is screaming right now. This is one game that a lot of people never really played, and seeing the trailer so far, I'm like a lot of people should play it when it comes out, and it's gonna be like loved by a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, if I see a good trailer, and you give me that stamp of approval, then I'm all down for it. So once again, listeners and viewers, this was our top 10 remix that we want in no particular order. Let us know what you think. Did we miss? Did we hit? We definitely had a good time thinking of it, and I was so excited to finally go through this as we went through today's episode. So now going on towards our last bit of topic is our updates and our farewells. And the first farewell that we can say is goodbye to X Defiant, Ubisoft's um, multiplayer game FPS that was free to play. It included numerous IP titles such as Ghost Recon, Far Cry, Splinter Cell. Um, what else did I miss? The Division, and the last addition to it all was Assassin's Creed. It was trying to be advertised as the COD killer. Guess what, guys? You cannot kill the COD. You cannot kill Call of Duty. It will never happen. All right. The second you announce yourself as your COD killer, you immediately just took yourself out of the race. So always be very aware of your words. I had a fun time with it. I know me and you definitely played some games of it, but it was something that was not going to last longevity wise, in my opinion. Um,
I
they,
mean, it was fun. It was fun in the beginning, but then it didn't feel finished. It didn't have the replayability that sadly Call of Duty kind of does with its fans. Um, it felt a bit clunky. I
mm-hmm.
mean, me personally, like playing a lot of shooters, it felt clunky. But having like the cross branding between all your other games between Ubisoft was pretty cool. Like it was cool to see all the characters and their abilities, but having like a hero shooter per se mixed with Call of Duty kind of just it didn't work with that one, with the abilities. And then before they shut down, they was like they opened up their whole game. So like you didn't have to unlock characters and unlock attachments. You have to unlock camos. Um you didn't really have to grind a battle pass. They legit unlocked the whole game and said,
Yeah.
"Here, we're gonna shut it down soon, so have fun."
And
And
it looked like it was going to
that's
be
it.
great, and yeah, it just failed, man. It flopped, and I think Ubisoft is in some type of troubles. I mean, I don't know what they need to do on the back end of the things, but another game that I'm currently playing right now is their Star Wars Outlaws games, and I'm losing my patience with it. I'm like ready to just say this is not it. It's so buggy. It's so
Outlaws was Ubisoft game.
Ubisoft game, man. Like I don't know
Oof.
what Ubisoft is doing. They're slacking, and in my opinion, and I don't know what else to say about them. This is really upsetting. I mean, even though I'm gonna play the Division's last DLC for another topic, yeah, I'm not too happy with them. But what I am happy about is the PS Plus games that have just came out. So list of games that we had come out were NBA 2K25, Alone in the Dark, which is what I'm so excited for. I'm not happy about Destiny 2 Final Shape, and the last one is the Cyberpunk game, which I'm not too familiar
Well,
about.
can we skip ahead and just find out why you're not happy about Destiny 2 Final Shape?
Because I spent a whole DLC thing, and I spent like, well, I got to deal with it because it was like instead of paying $140, I only paid $30, so I paid for it. So I was like, okay. Even though like all the other DLCs are included, I was like, dang, like that sucks. You spend money and then now the thing is free. But like I said, we're gonna have
That's
our fun
that's
with it. But
that's one of the things with like PS Plus is like you want a game, you're gonna buy it, and then legit right after you pay for it, it comes
mm-hmm,
out for free.
yeah. Then the next so to go into it real quick for the plus games, we got 2K. 2K, I'm sorry I will not be downloading that because I've given up on 2K for years. The player base
Yeah,
for
my
it
bad.
has not been.
2016 was the last good one in my opinion.
Yes, I think 2014 honestly with LeBron was on the cover with Miami. Best one ever. Carmelo unstoppable. But last time they gave a 2K game that was free was 2K23 on the PS Plus. I remember I downloaded it and which is not for it anymore. Alone in the Dark, I already downloaded it once again, as I talked about earlier in this episode. I love the survival horror. It's amazing. It's the seventh game installed in the franchise and reimagining of the 1992 game. The star of the game is David Harbour, who is known for his roles in Stranger Things and Thunderbolts as the Red Guardian. I forgot exactly his character in Stranger Things, but I'm hoping to get some jump scares, and I support the genre anyway, as we already discussed. And the last one that we talked, that I don't know too much about Cyberpunk. Do you know about it?
Yeah, so Cyberpunk, it's kind of like Jet Set Radio got remastered and remake by a completely different company. I played like the first few half of it, and you do have that Jet Set Radio like style of like
Mm-hmm.
grinding, getting your combos, moving throughout the world, tagging up. The art style is the same, the music feels similar. Like it's kind of that whole idea. I haven't finished it yet, halfway through, but I'll get back to any updates on that.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And yeah, so then to finish off things off, the next episode we're definitely going to talk about Summer Game Fest. As once again, it can. This is Sunday. We're recording to be released on Monday. All the news should be done by the time we publish this episode, so we could definitely give a deeper dive and go into each topic that we see is really out there.
Yeah, not too
And
long ago, before we started recording, Xbox just announced their hardware
mm-hmm.
that they released.
No, yeah, I'm
So
excited to talk about that. I have my
we'll
takes
see
already
more
on
about
that.
that.
And also, a big shout out to Mid Tier Summit Gaming on their event that happened yesterday, uh, benefiting the Alzheimer's Association. Really great to hear that they had a great event, a lot of support going on. So we hope to see more events in the future. And we hope me and Jules will be at some events. We got some things coming on up, but we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we really appreciate every single listener and viewer supporting us. Spread the word, spread the love. We're here for a good time and a long time. Have a great night. And excuse me, have a good morning. I forget this is happening in the morning. Have a
Yeah,
great
it's good
morning,
morning. Good morning.
good afternoon, good night. I'll see you next time.